gamers? I'm Jason.
I'm Julie.
And today on Dice and Dragons, we are back in, for those of you that watch the channel, one of our favorite universes, worlds, cities. Well, it's not much of a city. That being said, we are back with Aeon's End War Eternal, the first big box expansion or standalone game, depending on how you want to look at it, in the Aeon's End franchise. Now, we've already covered Aeon's End and Aeon's End Legacy, so at the end of the video, also right about now, you'll see a card that'll pop up taking you to Aeon's End Legacy, first game we reviewed, and you'll find links to them also down below in the video description. Now, before I prattle on too long here, I'll toss it over to Julie after I say who the game is by, which is Kevin Riley, and published by Indie Boards and Cards and Action Phase Games.
It's my turn?
Yes, it's your turn.
So it's a cooperative game like the original Aeon's End. Plays 1 to 4 players in about 60 minutes, and it's for ages 14 and above. And I think the 60 minutes is pretty accurate if you've already played the game. If you haven't, it's probably going to take you a little bit longer. As for the age, I think it's pretty good. I mean, maybe can get away with 12, but I think...
Yeah, and I think I'll defer on you. I will defer about that just a little bit. If you have someone that's played a lot of deck building games, so for example, let's say you've maybe started playing Legendary at a younger age, then I think you could probably play this, at like 10, 11, 12 even. But if this is a first deck building experience, I think the age range is spot on. Now, we are reviewing this game because we have, I believe it's New Age, Aeon's End New Age is supposed to be arriving in August with lots of extras, so we just wanted to get this done, lock it down, and have covered all of the Aeon's End games. So what do we do in this game, Julie? Do you remember, or do you want me to do it?
Why don't you go ahead? You're on a roll today. You're just steamrolling through this.
I don't know. I wanted to hear your explanation of how to play.
No, you go ahead.
All right, so how do you play Aeon's End, or what are you going to be doing in Aeon's End? Well, there is a nemesis. They've got a deck of cards. They are attacking humanity's last city, known as Gravehold. You take on the role of a Breach Mage, and I believe there's a total of about 8 of them in the box, some pretty cool new ones. And what you're then going to do is you're going to be building a deck. Now, the interesting thing about this game is you do not shuffle your cards. So the way you place the cards into your discard and how you buy them will affect how the card comes up. Comes up? Came up? I don't know.
Comes up.
So in any case, what you're going to be doing is then trying to defeat the nemesis, make sure Gravehold stays alive, slay minions, and become a very powerful Breach Mage.
So basically like the original Aeon's End.
Exactly like the original Aeon's End. So what time is it then, Julie?
What time? I think it's time to grab our drink.
Grab our best friend or comrade in arms. And we're going to take it to the table.
Yes, we are.
So you excited to get back to Aeon's End?
Yeah, I am. It'll be interesting to try the new mages.
Yeah, it's a little different than Thunderstone Quest.
A little bit, yes.
Now we're going to take a quick look at some of the components that are included in Aeon's End War Eternal. Now, I didn't want to take out all of the cards. It's a deck building game. There are way too many cards to really showcase and actually explain, but we'll give you a nice idea as to what comes in the base box. Now, as usual, we're going to start with the components that I don't have on camera, which are the rule books. That's right, I said rule books because you get a nice quick start guide, 2 pages that will help you set up your first game, take you through how to use the stop decks, and is just really a tutorial for you to learn the game. Then you have the full rule book that's got everything that you need to learn the game. Nice breakdown of how to play and the components. And from what I've seen, because we've played a lot of Aeon's End, it really just explains everything like the original game as well as Aeon's End Legacy. So there you have it. This is the rulebook. Now, let's take a quick look at some of the other content. So, in the game, we're going to get 4 new nemesis. As always, they are double-sided with the setup rules. Nice little blurb as to what they are. And then their facer here, where it really explains how they work. You get the Umber Titan, the Gate Witch, Magus of Cloaks, and the Hollow Crown that come in the game. You're going to get a whole slew of new basic Nemesis cards. For example, the basic level 1 Afflict Attack Unleash. Any player suffers 3 damage and may place a card in their discard pile into their hand. That's not bad. So you get a whole slew of different cards that you're going to get for your basic Nemesis cards, as well as then the Nemesis cards that are specific to each of the different Nemesis. So we've got some for the Hollow Crown, Magus of Cloaks, Umber Titan, and the Gate Witch. You notice with the Hollow Crown you're getting a lot more. Just follow the setup instructions. It'll guide you through what you need to do, especially since there are more cards for this Nemesis. Now, the other stuff that we have that's related to the Nemesis is down here for the tokens. So we've got these Nemesis tokens that will be used depending on who you're fighting. And of course, we've got the not two of them, but there's many of them, the power tokens for the different Nemesis abilities. Now, I know I didn't say it earlier, but just for those of you that are wondering if there's going to be how to play, I know I did mention it upon our intro to the game. Well, it's popping up right about now. You'll see it probably up here somewhere. It's going to be a card that will take you to our how to play of Aeon's End, as War Eternal plays the same as the original game. We're now going to be doing a how to play in this video. Now we've covered the aspects of the Nemesis. Let's take a look at the player stuff. But there's one last thing that we have for the Nemesis. We've got the Nemesis life counter right here. Just a nice rotational counter. The other one that you can see, which is for Gravehold, works the same way. Lets you easily keep track of the villain's health. Now, we do get a whole slew of new Breach Mages in War Eternal. We get some of the favorite ones for the series. We get Mist, Mazahedron, Quilius, who will also be using these trophy tokens. These are specifically for this character. We have Gex, who's a little different. She doesn't get a level 1 breach, but has some cool, interesting abilities. Garu, Desmodia, who has her own set of special components. These sigil breaches are specific to Desmodia. We have Nyan Magda. Ulgamor is a Shadowkin beast, not really sure what that means, but as always you get a nice little blurb about the character's past and history on the back of their character sheets. So we'll just place those back here. We've taken a look at that. Then of course we've got the tokens that go with our characters. We've got the player numbers, so for a 2-player game, the 1/2, 3/4, and then in a 3 or 4-player game, you're going to be using 1, 2, 3, or 4. We've got the health tokens, their life, which comes in denominations of 5 and 1. And then we've got the charge tokens that you can purchase, which will trigger your character's special ability. And we also have the breaches, 4 breaches, total of 16 of them, enough for each of the different characters. Now, as you're playing Aeon's End, you've got our starter cards, lots of sparks, which deal 1 damage, and lots of crystals, which let you generate Aether, which is the unit that you're going to be buying with. Also, if you want to play with a random setup, you get all of these nice randomizer cards that come with the game as well. And to keep all your stuff sorted, there are a whole slew of different dividers that will be coming in the box. Next, we also have the turn order cards, which correspond to your turn order markers. Just make sure these all stay on camera here. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, wild for when you're playing 3 players, then 1, 2, and 3, 4 for the 2-player count, as well as the 2 Nemesis turn order cards. Now, during the game, you're going to be buying different spells, relics, and gems. So you have a whole slew of spells. I just grabbed the ones that are recommended for the starting game here. So you can see an example of 4 of them. Some of them have some well-prepped abilities, which are pretty cool. Things you can do after you prepare your spell to a breach. You've got relics like the Mage's Totem and the Primordial Fetish, which will allow you to heal. A whole slew of different gems that have some special abilities. Love the Frozen Magmite, where you may place the next card you buy at the top of your deck. Really big advantage. You have the Scorious Slag, which gets more powerful the more dangerous the Nemesis gets. And the Bloodstone Jewel, which actually generates 3 Aether the first time that you purchase it. Very cool. And then, of course, you get unique starter cards for the different mages. You can see Extinguish, which is for Quilius, helps her generate those trophy tokens. The World Heart Shard, which is special for Mesahedron. Shadow Geode for Gex. And Amethyst Paragon is a cool one for Mist. So you get an idea as to what you're going to be getting in the game. And there you have it. We've gone through the components. Once again, for those of you that did not hit the link for the how to play, feel free to take a look down below in the video description. I will have a link there for our full how to play. Now I'm going to get out of here, and Julie and I will come back at you with our review of the game. Aeon's End, War Eternal. What did you think of the game?
Well, it's Aeon's End, so you should have some indication of what I thought of the game.
Yes, there hasn't been too much of a change in gameplay. Actually, I don't think we really noticed any from our plays of the game, mainly in terms of the characters and the cards.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a couple cards that the art is a little different, and we got some new mages that have different powers. But besides that, it's basically more Aeon's End content, and that's something that, at least here on Dice & Dragons, we appreciate.
Yes, that's why we've got the Kickstarter coming, New Age, which actually has some new cool, almost legacy content, but campaign style content, which for those of you that watch the channel know we're really looking forward to, and it works with all of this stuff. So what are your thoughts on Aeon's End? Maybe just talk about the new characters and maybe the feel of the game, because where I'm gonna go is, as a big box, like in terms of just picking up the game, I actually wonder if I wouldn't recommend Aeon's End or Eternal over just the original game, actually, or Legacy.
Well, it's different. I mean, with Legacy, you're changing the cards and you're progressing with it. I don't think we're doing that in this one.
No. And also, I find that Legacy is very good to teach the mechanics step by step.
Yeah. Well, I played with Mist. So she's very powerful, and her ability comes in pretty useful when you're fighting a bunch of different monsters.
Especially with the cards that were recommended at the start of the game. I mean, you got to just like sort of wail on the monsters and then reset like all of your spells and use your well-prepped abilities again. It was very fun.
And now I can't remember what the name of the second character I played with. It was a new one.
Gex, Gex.
Yeah. In any case,
I don't know, something like that.
The bald one, or one of the bald ones. There could be another one in there. She was pretty good too. She allowed some healing, so that's always good in this game. You need to find a way to heal. So I mean, I thought that was a lot of fun. It'd be nice to try others as well at different times with different games. But I thought that it was a different content, and I thought the mages that you played with as well were pretty strong.
No, I really liked them. I didn't really like them. I really liked one of them. The character of Mesahedron, who has the ability to heal Gravehold, and then at the same time acquire a gem, was very cool. Really liked the special abilities on the mages. Quilius was interesting with the trophy system, but I don't know, it just didn't really work out in my favor. It felt a little bit too much like a slow burn rather than something that was very useful, all the time, whereas your powers, Mesahedron's powers, even Gex's ability were something that we used multiple times during our play. So what I think the biggest difference between Aeon's End and Aeon's End War Eternal is I feel like the game is a little bit more balanced, at least in terms of what you get in the box. Like playing our first game and using the stop decks and just doing the first initial setup. While the game definitely, we felt a lot of pressure and a lot of weight, for us as experienced Aeon's End players, it was not that difficult, and I felt that it was because of the characters. Whereas one of the last times we played Aeon's End, the first version of the game, I think we felt a little underpowered and
Oh yes, I remember. That's
and a little bit like just trying to survive. So
I think we played it a few times and we
Mm-hmm.
didn't necessarily. I don't think we won. I think it took us like a few times to win.
well, we won, but it was more outlasting the deck, and you were kind of sitting there like, oh, I hate when we win like this.
Yeah, this was a lot more fun. I mean, with Mist, I mean, we definitely at this point were able to attack the big bad and manage the game a little bit differently. I mean, I find the first version of Aeon Zen, we had to attack the minions, otherwise, and I think that was one of my first reflexes in this case. I'm like, but the minion's not dead. But I realized, but with the amount of fight that Mist has, I could just bypass the minion and just kill the big bad.
Finish off the nemesis and end the game. I actually think that this, in terms of a big box game, I would actually recommend Aeon Zen War Eternal over the original game, actually. And I'd seen some commentary on that online, and I was kind of surprised by it. But now, after getting some plays in, I can see how it feels differently. That being said, if you like Aeon Zen, I really think you should get all of it. It's kind of like Thunderstone Quest, where you're going to get a lot of variety. You're going to be playing the same system a lot, but highly replayable, especially with the sheer amount of mages that you get in this game. And we're meeting some of the more famous faces in this box. I mean, when we were playing Legacy, there was talk of Mist and Indira, and a lot of them are coming from this box and not the original base game. So I don't know if there's really much more that we have to say. I mean, it's a standalone game. You don't need Aeon Zen, but it's still also like an expansion. So if you want to hear more about our thoughts about Aeon Zen, once again, popping up shortly will be links to our other Aeon's End videos. Maybe I'll just pop up a link to the playlist. In any case, you'll be able to find
I think what I'd say is this one as well. I mean, there's some new art in this. So the sparks look different. I enjoyed that. I'm like, oh look, the spark is different. But I mean, I like the art. The Nemesis is Nemesis art is cool as well.
I actually think the Nemesis art in this is actually better than in the first game.
No, agreed. And I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring it up is because it's different. It's a little bit different, and I really appreciated it.
No. That being said, it's Aeon Zen. We like Aeon Zen. Julie, what's your score?
I'm hesitating between an 8 and an 8.5. I think it's an 8.5, honestly. I really enjoyed it.
I'm also going to give it an 8.5. It's kind of interesting after playing Thunderstone Quest Barricades. I definitely like this over Barricades mode. I think it's because that this is, just straight up designed to be a cooperative game. Mm-hmm. And it could just be the way we set up Barricades mode that it felt a little bit more challenging. But if you do like Thunderstone Quest and you do like the cooperative version, I definitely think you need to get Aeon Zen. For anyone that likes cooperative games, cooperative deck builders, I think it's pretty safe to say that this is a collection essential.
I agree, yes.
Perfect. So my score, I didn't say it. It gets the same score as Thunderstone Quest, the whole game overall. It's an 8.5. So what can our viewers do now, Julie?
Well, they can comment, like, subscribe, hit that bell to find out when we're going to have some new content for you.
Yes, and then down below in the video description, you will find links to all of our social media feeds, links to our other Aeon's End content. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You'll probably be seeing some pictures of us playing, some games lakeside, or at least in some different locations than normal, if you feel like checking that out. And is there anything that I'm forgetting, Julie?
No, I think that's it.
Oh, there is one thing. I've already said it a few times, but videos are popping up right about now. So we're going to grab our drink, grab our best friend.
We're going to keep playing games.
We're going to keep playing Aeon Zen.
I think we're going to keep playing this one.
Yes, I know. I want to really mash them all together. That's something that we haven't done yet. We were kind of keeping it separate till we reviewed them all, but now it's like, mix it all up.